Good morning and welcome to a small intimate beach here in Phuket. Hope everyone is well, and I've brought you down to a beach called Yanui, not to be confused with Yanui Beach, which is a beach you would have to pay to go on, but Yanui Beach you don't have to pay. Now, it's not the greatest of days, as you can see. In fact, we've had some very heavy overnight rain lasting into this morning, and the journey taking Nat to work was a wet affair, to say the least. And just less than an hour ago it was absolutely pouring down, and you're probably wondering why I've brought you down to a beach area on such a bad day. Well, I want to show you what it's like here in low season, because just a couple of days ago when I filmed the video over in Kamala, you saw yourself the weather was beautiful, and if you haven't watched that video then go and check it out. And that was just a few days ago. But today, big change. You can see the sea not looking great. Certainly not a place I wouldn't want to go for a swim, that's for sure. And as I mentioned on that video about booking a hotel at this time of year with a swimming pool is a big advantage, because you can't guarantee on the weather. Now, of course, today isn't great, but tomorrow could be completely different. You just have to take it as it comes. Look at the beach. Look at the rubbish on the beach. And this is because of the storms. Obviously, it brings in all the junk from out of the ocean and washes it up onto the shoreline. And at this time of year, you can see yourself, there's nobody here. The vendors don't bother with the beaches in the low season because there isn't a lot of tourism, especially on these smaller beaches. But if you're after somewhere to get away from the crowds, on a good day this is a great beach to come to. Obviously not today, it's not so good today because the weather's not with us. You can see red flags. I've mentioned this several times, and just 2 days ago a Russian guy drowned. I can't emphasize this enough, that during the low season here in Phuket, which runs from the end of April until about the beginning of December, mid-November, sometimes the weather's reasonably good then, you really need to be cautious about going into the ocean. You know, if you want to play Russian roulette, play gamble with your life, then so be it. It's entirely up to you. But there's an awful lot of people that do drown here in Phuket, and this is why I talk about it on a lot of the videos, because I try to get it through to people that it can be very dangerous and it's just not worth it. Hopefully, by going on about it, it will deter people from swimming. But I see, even on days like today, I see people in the water, and it's crazy. There's nobody here swimming, which is good, because I wouldn't want to be in there. But on a nice sunny day in high season, this is a lovely beach. However, it does get quite busy and crowded. So in low season, this is a great beach to come to, when we get the weather, of course, because you can have the beach not all to yourself, because there's going to be a few people about, but it's going to be a lot less busy than the main beaches. If you just want somewhere that's a little bit quieter, then Yanui Beach is a great beach. And this is also a very good beach should you wish to do some snorkeling, because there's quite a lot of rocks, as you can see. There's a few rocky areas, so obviously you're going to see a little bit more marine life than just a sandy beach. Hard to believe, just an hour ago it was absolutely chucking it down, and I do mean chucking it down. Let's just have a look over here. I don't think this is anything. I don't think it's an outlet at canal. I'm not sure. Oh, it might be, because I can see, yeah, there's a drain. So not great, the end of the beach. They do have several of these on most of the beaches, and we have a problem with water quality because of course you don't know what people are throwing down the drains and running out into the sea here. Kata Beach has got them in the northern part. They did have them in the southern part. I don't know whether they've been moved underneath where you can't see or whether they're no longer there, because that section of road actually collapsed last year, I think it was, and they've had to rebuild it, and the drains are no longer there. Whether they've moved them underground and they come further out into the sea, I don't honestly know, but they're still there in the northern part of the beach. And Caron's exactly the same. Patong, most of the beaches along the west coast have these drains, and it can cause issues with the water. And if you're going to come down to these beaches, then it's probably best not to swim around that area because of the drains. If you're going to go in the water and go the southern part, I don't believe there's any around there. You can see the amount of debris, but high season this is all cleared away by the vendors that operate from the beach, people that hire the surfboards, etc. They tend to look after the beaches, but of course at this time of year they're not going to make much money, and there's quite a lot of junk on the beach. Real shame, a real shame. But it doesn't always look this bad. We have had a few storms of late, so it's not surprising that you're going to get all this washed up. But I thought I'd come out today and show you what it's like at this time of year and how the weather can quickly change. Just yesterday it was beautiful, sunny spells, a little bit of cloud, but it was really nice. The day before I was over in Camelot, and you can see the weather yourself on that video. Absolutely glorious, people in the sea, but it is very unpredictable. So if you're going to book a holiday to Phuket at this sort of time of year during the low season, then it's best to expect this type of weather. Get yourself a decent set of waterproofs out here. If you're only staying short term, then you can buy waterproof bags, really they are, that you can put over. 20 baht from the 7-Elevens. They don't last very long and they rip very easy. But if you're coming over for a longer period of time, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, then invest in a decent set. You can get them, I've showed them before, for about 200 baht, and they'll last you a good, well, this is what I normally buy, and they last me normally 1, maybe 2 rainy seasons. It just depends on the quality. They vary a little bit, but they're worth investing, and they will keep you dry, and it allows you to carry on and do things. Bit of a wind today. I hope you can hear me okay. A little bit breezy at the minute. It is picking up, it is brightening up, as you can see. This morning it was very, very dark indeed. I was thinking, it looks like we're going to have a rainy day, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe this afternoon it'll be bright and sunny, and this is the type of weather. You can't guarantee on it, but this is the way the weather goes over here. Phuket is probably one of the hardest places I know to predict the weather, because it's so changeable over here, and it can really change quickly. You can literally see sometimes when you're sitting on the beach the weather coming across the island. You can actually see it moving across the island and coming into wherever you may be sitting. And that's how quickly it can change in 10 minutes. Now of course here you do have a few facilities, not loads, but there's some restaurants at the back there that you can go and get some food and drink if you want to. Not too far away from the beach, so you don't have to go too far, but normally there's no vendors actually on the beach itself as regards selling food and drink. You just make your way across here and you can see it's got a decent choice of restaurants, and there's even some accommodation in this area, so should you want to stay here. We're only a few minutes away from Naham Beach, which I covered a couple of videos back, which is a lovely beach, and we're not too far away from the Cape of Pom Tem, which is a good place to go late afternoon, early evening, watch the sunset. There's a couple of restaurants on the Cape, or there used to be. I haven't been for a while. You just never know when you haven't been somewhere for a bit, but I think they're still there. You can sit, have a meal, watch the sunset. Very, very nice indeed. And then of course here you're a few, maybe about 5, maybe 8 minutes away from Rawai, which has come on a lot over the last couple of years. There's a lot of facilities popping up down there now. They've got a little shopping place that you can go in, and quite a few bars have sprung up, lots of restaurants there, and yeah, a nice place. You can see a lot of these are closed up low season. It's always good if you've got a little bit of transport staying in this sort of area, but in high season this is lovely. But it does get busy on the beach. I'm just going to walk up here just to show you this bit at the end. Now normally these surfboards are on the beach, but of course with the weather the way it is, I'm guessing they've moved them away. I was going to lose them all. They're normally out for hire, so you can have surfing. I think they're kayaks as well. They're for hire as well as surfboards, but there's normally surfboards and kayaks and a few different things that you can do. And then you just follow this road up here, that'll take you to Nahar Beach, and you can see there's a little place here that you might want to stay. They've got some accommodation. This restaurant's called the One More Restaurant. Unusual name there. And from people in the past that have left comments when I've done videos of this area, apparently this is not a bad restaurant here. The food's quite good. Let me hear your thoughts on this. Now I'm going to be doing some nightlife shortly coming up, and we're going to take a look at various different places around the island in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. If you've recently subscribed to the channel, thank you very much for subscribing. And I guess that'll do for this morning, and I'll see you soon. Have a great week.